by Tracy Leslie and knocking his pit crew members. Nobody in that incident was seriously injured, and it's an absolute miracle that nobody was, because 4 of them were knocked down and sent flying, but no serious injuries in that incident. But you can see perhaps the situation is a little more serious here at the Glen, as Dr. Jerry Punch, again, you can see is the attending physician in this situation. So we'll take another break and be back with more at Watkins Glen. Is still behind the pace car, under caution here at Watkins Glen. They're approaching turn number 5, near where the accident occurred, and Ned Jarrett is right there.
Well, Bob, we noticed a moment ago that the workmen were here trying to make repairs on the fence where Greg Sachs finally wound up. There was not a great deal of damage done to the guardrail here. It was a matter really of replacing the tires that we mentioned earlier that protect or sort of soften the cushion here before they would get into the guardrail. So they have that work done now and should be ready to go racing before too long.
All right, thank you, Ned, for an on-the-scene report there at turn number 5, exactly where Greg Sachs went in. He is okay. Now you see the lights on the top of the pace car have been turned out, signifying to the field that they will be getting the green flag this time around. The leader of the race is Herb Hare. Now, he made a pit stop early in the event and stayed out there during this most recent caution period, so he is at the head of the field right now as the pace car comes between turns 6 and 7, and we should be getting the green flag in the restart of the Budweiser at the Glen here in just a moment. The green will come out on lap number 20. It's a 90-lap, 219-mile race here this afternoon, and here comes the field off of corner number 7. The green flag waves once again. We are back to racing. We'll watch Rusty Wallace perhaps make a move early on Herb Hare.
Davey Allison desperately wanting to stay in front of this field. Herb Hare, meanwhile, takes the lead. Rusty Wallace is second. Dale Earnhardt has finished second on the pit crew race out of the pits.
Alan Kowicki off course there as they came through turn number 1, but he's backing okay as they head through the S's and up the hill once again onto the long backstretch. Let's go to John Kernan for an update on the injury on pit road.
Well, Barry Swift has now been placed on a stretcher. He got hit by the gas can, and from what I could see, he had a cut in his left forehead. And Jerry, I believe, asked him if he was okay, as Dr. Jerry Punch was attending to him, and he shook his head. Yes, he is being taken away from the track now. And now let's go for an update with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Actually, what happened with him, I didn't hear what you said. I had to hit it off for a minute, John. I apologize. But he was a rear tire changer, Barry Swift. Apparently, as he was coming back across behind the car, he was struck by the gas can. Gas can came across the wall, hit him in the left side of the head. He had the laceration about 1.5 inches to 2 inches on the left side of his head. He was awake and alert, talking to us. They're going to take him in for some x-rays, complaining of a little bit of neck pain, but otherwise he moved everything. Hopefully that's all it is. Maybe a little minor bump on the head and a cut, and he should be okay. Hopefully that's all it is.
All right, thank you, Jerry, for your report and for your work down there on that incident. Now, here's the situation. Rusty Wallace, well, he passed Davey Allison and put him a lap down, and now Davey comes fighting back and goes back ahead of Rusty Wallace. But in any case, Rusty Wallace is the leader, and Davey Allison is at the tail end of the lead lap as Herb Hare runs second and Dale Earnhardt is in third position. And here is our Big A Auto Parts pit stop performance report on Rusty Wallace. Look at this, 13.8 seconds to get in and out of the pits by Rusty Wallace. It took the crew 26.6, a total of 41.4 seconds for that most recent pit stop by Rusty Wallace. And he's still having difficulty putting Davey Allison a lap down.
Well, Bob, in practice here on Thursday and Friday before qualifying, Davey Allison had one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. Now, he did crash during practice, or during his qualifying run. They repaired that same race car, and he was the fastest second round qualifier here yesterday. So he has a very fast race car.
Terry Labonte has fallen to 6th position now, and here's his pit stop performance report. 16.5 on the driver and 30.5 for the crew. Much slower, 47. And the crew was about the same, but Terry took a little bit extra time getting into and out of the pits, resulting in a 47-second pit stop. And now Terry Labonte runs in 6th position. Dale Earnhardt has passed Herb Hare and now gone to 2nd, so it's Rusty Wallace, then Dale Earnhardt, Herb Hare, and Mark Martin. And Mark Martin appears to be ready to make a move on Herb Hare for that 3rd position. not able to do it yet.
Well, Bob, the way they stand right now, after Dale Earnhardt led early in the race and picked up those 5 Winston Cup bonus points, he and Mark Martin are exactly tied for the point lead. Mark Martin would like to get up there and get that 5 bonus points as well, so that he could at least gain that advantage back.
Well, as in all our NASCAR races, Goodyear will be sending a check for $1,000 in the name of the pole sitter Dale Earnhardt to the Winston Cup Racing Wives Auxiliary. And there is Earnhardt as he now tries to put Davey Allison a lap down, as Rusty Wallace has once again positioned himself at the front of the field and leads the Budweiser at the Glen, and Earnhardt looking for the chance to pass Allison.
Allison trying to keep Earnhardt behind him, but Earnhardt trying to get inside, going through the edges, decides that's not a very good idea. You know, I was talking to some fellows earlier on, and they really run into some weird drive shaft, transmission, rear end ratios this weekend. Some of them are using an overdrive, which is less than a 1-to-1, like a .90. The problem is that drive shaft RPM ends up being about 9,000 RPM. You know, and the drive shaft, the rear housing, those axles, those things are only good for about 8,000 RPM. It's a real gamble on some people's part.
Well, Benny, this is exactly what happened to Ernie Irvan. Take a look at what's left of the axle on the Kodak Chevrolet. Irvan had to make a lengthy pit stop. They have replaced the axle there now. He's back out, but you see the axle literally chewed away from the inside there where it connects in the rear end. A tough break for Ernie Irvan. That's what happens on a road course. The equipment really takes a beating.
It certainly does. But for Rusty Wallace, things are going just fine, thank you, as he continues to lead here at the Bud. And the 17 car of Sarel van der Merwe has gone off course in turn number 6. This, of course, is the Darrell Waltrip car, but is being driven here this weekend by road racing specialist, many times competitor in the GTP division. That is Sarel van der Merwe from South Africa. One of 2 foreign drivers we had in the field when we began. The other, of course, Dick Johnson, who hails from Australia. And Sarel van der Merwe was running in 17th position in the number 17 car when this incident occurred. Looks like he just got the rear wheels up in the loose stuff and couldn't handle turn number 6. Into the grass he went, but he was able to get it straightened out. There is some damage, however, to the right front of that car, and here comes van der Merwe into the pits with smoke pouring from the right front of that car. Obviously, some sheet metal is rubbing against the tire.